Hey everybody, I'm just going to check in on this Saturday quickly to talk about the importance of dissent, the importance of speaking up, not the importance of fighting, because fighting is not super helpful, but you do need to talk up, speak up, write. You need to put your voice out there into the marketplace of ideas because we are in a critical period right now, which I think you understand. I'm going to reference somebody that I just posted a video on my Facebook page and I made it public, Miles Taylor. He used to work with the Department of Homeland Security under the administration of George Bush and also of the first administration of Donald Trump. And he was also the senior advisor to John Kelly, a former DHS secretary and chief of staff under Donald Trump. Now, I don't blame you if you don't remember him, because it can be very hard to keep a running tally of all the people in and out of the Trump administration, because, you know, he appoints them and then he fires them. He appoints them and he fires them, or they leave. I don't know if there's any administration that's ever had the kind of turnover that this man has had. Maybe somebody did, but I don't know. Somebody, I'm sure, has kept a record of that. But anyway, if you don't remember John Kelly, then I wouldn't blame you. Here's the thing. He wrote a 2018 op-ed, and I remember reading it, and a lot of people were talking about it at the time. It was written by Anonymous, and it was titled, "I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration." And, of course, Trump called him a traitor. And he had to move. They discovered his address. They targeted his family with all kinds of vicious phone calls and whatnot. So anyway, he was doing this TED Talk, basically talking about the price of dissent, because he has paid a fair amount of that price himself. Many people have. Many people have paid a price for speaking out against Donald Trump and what he has done with his policies, or the retribution campaign that he has waged against many people. Anyone basically who disagrees with him, who even asks him a question he doesn't like. You can just ask him a question he doesn't like and it'll be like, "Shut up, Biggie," and "Why don't you ever smile?" Maybe she doesn't feel like smiling at you, Donald. Anyway, after he got out of the administration, he wrote a book called Warning. Now, I know that I have talked about this before. I get so mad at these people who are in the administration, seeing what's going on, and then they don't do anything. But when they leave, they write the book about how awful it all was, and oh my God, the stuff I saw, but I'm going to save it for the book. Well, he didn't save it all. He actually wrote that op-ed, and, eventually did leave the administration. But the thing that he was pointing out in his TED Talk, it was a TED Talk, if I didn't mention that before, is that dissent and all of us speaking up, it's like the marketplace of ideas. All of us need to speak up, because it's like, oh no, he was saying the supply and demand, the law of supply and demand. Those of you who let the marketplace do its work. Okay, well, the marketplace here is us. We need to meet the demand. We need to put out that supply. So there's so many people saying, this isn't working. We're not happy with this. These things need to change. That there's so many of us talking about it that it just basically, even though the Department of Homeland Security now, I don't know if I already mentioned this in this video, but they're now doing a target across social media. They've got people teams going across social media now to find stuff that they find objectionable, that they think might be somehow dangerous to the administration, or now what they perceive as being dangerous, or how it's in their perception a lot of times. So it's not even a case of anybody in any way actually threatening or even intending anything dangerous at all. But it's getting to the point where even criticism of the president can be something that they can come after you for, which is why, I'm talking to a lawyer next week just to have somebody I can call, my husband and I can call, if we absolutely, not because we think, oh, we are so important and people are going to want to know what we think and the government is going to fear. No, just because they're going across everywhere to find anybody that is doing anything saying anything that they don't like. That's the level of paranoia that exists in the Trump administration right now and in the Department of Homeland Security. That's what they're doing. If you don't believe me, go Google it. They are doing it. They're looking across all of these platforms to see if there's anything they find objectionable in their perception of what is objectionable. You and I might not agree that what was said was objectionable, but they might. They showed up at this, at least one person's house I know about, say, you did that tweet, you should take that down, and they're like, what? And of course, we're not talking about posting anything that calls for any kind of violence against the administration or anybody in it, including fearless leader himself. No, of course not. Anything like that would be objectionable and should not happen. But it sounds like their level of what they think might be objectionable could be, way down further than we think would be objectionable, that many people would think would be objectionable or actionable on their part. So we're lawyering up. And even though we're not important, we're not high profile at all, we're doing that. My Lyft driver was talking to me about, we went to today and he was talking to me about, the importance of, of speaking up and speaking out and even being ready to get arrested if we have to. I am not eager to get arrested, I'm a little old lady with health issues, etc. But from what I've seen, they don't particularly care about any of that. They don't. I've heard many situations, and I don't know all the details. And I'll say allegedly because I don't know the details. But they haven't given people their medication or whatever, So, again, not eager to spend time in the hoosegow, as it were, but. At this point, since my elderly mother has departed this earth, I don't have to worry about being here to take care of her. I am not going to keep quiet about some of the things that I see happening. And I don't think anybody should. Of course, you all have to make your personal decisions about what you're going to say or not say. But I think that, as Miles Taylor says, it's the more of us that speak, the less they can go after anybody because everybody's saying stuff, Of course, that isn't necessarily going to stop them, I can't say that will work because I don't know what will work. We're in a situation where I don't know what will work other than voting. Vote in the primaries, vote in the midterms, vote. And don't try and find the perfect candidate that you're like, oh, I agree with every single thing this person says. Because you're not going to find that unless it's you. You agree with everything that you say, but not anybody else. So don't look for the perfect person who's going to align with you in every possible way. They do not exist unless you're the person who's running for office. So, please vote. It's one of the tools that we have. One of the only best tools that we have. So do it. And even go and get your marriage, find your marriage certificate, whatever, so you can change. I mean, I didn't change my name when I got married, so I didn't have to go through all that in order to register under my married name as opposed to my maiden name and all that. I mean, they're putting all of these obstacles in people's way because they don't, trying to eliminate vote-in mail, all this stuff they're trying to do, gerrymandering the districts, all this stuff they're trying to do, all this stuff. But it's very transparent, the stuff they're trying to do. It's very transparent. They think we're stupid, and I guess some of us are, or at least not paying attention. But it's very transparent. So, two things. Vote, like I just said. The other thing, my damaged hand, I can't hold fingers up very well, is use your platform wherever you can. Write letters, write postcards, speak up. If you have any kind of a platform, I don't really have any kind of a platform. I mean, I'm not anybody important. A few people know me in the world, but I'm not going to, there's not much I can do with that. So we all need to show up. We all need to show up for this because we don't want a king again, do we? I mean, we tried that. And we had a whole revolution. 250 years now, guys, we haven't had a king. Are we going to start to have one now? Is that the plan? Okay, well, anyway, that's it. I want you to vote and speak up and hang in there and have a good rest of your weekend.